Hi, my name is Rick. I'm down here at the comic shop in Oswego, and I've been a comic collector since, gosh, I was a kid way back in the 70s. I was one of those smart kids who saved all my comics when I was like 13, 14, and all the way up. I kept saving them and hoarding them and buying them. But, I kind of got out of it for a little while, but I kind of got back into it again about a decade later after all my kids moved out, and I found something new, and that was comics again. And I was lucky to find some in my mother's attic that I saved. And I kind of been a professor at it ever since. And I've always kind of even knew at a young age to keep good condition comics and try to get the best condition comics you can. And that's what I'm kind of here for, to let you know that, what to keep an eye out for and how to buy the best condition and kind of know what conditions are. I mean, there's three different really type editions. It's good, medium, and bad. So what we're looking for today, what I'm going to show you today, is a little bit about the grading and what it goes into it and how do you grade a comic, and some examples of some books that are already graded by professionals to really know what you're looking at. Okay, so anyways, I'm down at the comic shop in Oswego here, and I got a little stand here full of some comics here, and I want to show you some cool stuff. So anyways, here we go. Let me see. Let me show you an example. Okay, now this is the comic how you usually find it. Like like maybe 3 to 4, because it's been read, it's been beat up. Back then, kids really didn't take good care of their comics. They just kind of read them and threw them, and people really didn't start taking good care of comics until like about the 80s or 90s, when they started going, oh, they're collectible, they're worth money. So this is a good example right here of what kids you usually find in people's collections, or when you find a bear collection up in the attic, you usually find them like in good condition, because you got a lot of spine stress, and the kids rip them and read them and stuff like that. And so this one is only really like in good condition, So, it's a good, and this is a great book, by the way. It's a little bit of Demon by Jack Kirby, and, the old DC comics. And this is kind of the year I grew up with comics, when they were about 20 cents. So it's really kind of cool. But this is about a good condition comic. Now, right here is about a medium. Now, this is what maybe if you're lucky, someone saved them, or maybe they weren't read that much, so they're in a little bit better condition. So we got one about 6.5, which is a very good plus, maybe a fine minus, And you can see as you look around it, you really don't see no stress, but you do see maybe like a couple corner folds and, and a little bit of stress around the staples in the back of it, a little bit off-white. So, this is what you would look like as a better book. This is what you kind of like shoot for, something that doesn't have any really big issues on the cover, like a fold or a tear or this or that. So, and then when you find them like that they're really fine condition, And here's a really good example of something very fine to near mint. Now, this book right here is a 9.2. So, if you look at this book in the corners, it's crisp, it's clear. This book is glossy and flat and white and clean. It's really hard to find older comics in this condition. A lot of collectors really didn't think of keeping them in that good condition. So what we got a really nice Action Comics here, and as you can see, white pages on the back and stuff like that. Now, there's 3 different type of grading companies. You got PGX, which is not everybody's favorite one, but they're okay. And then you got CGC. CGC is the leader in grading, and they're one of the best, and they're very good at it. And then you got CBCS. Well, this is CGC, but you got CBCS, which is the other grading company, and they're moving up and they're doing really good, and I really like them too. If I were to send it out or to do any work for high-end books, I go with CGC. They're the best around, and they're the most reputable. So I would go with them. But a lot of things was great. When you find them, you usually get a box, and they're always beat up and stuff like that. And you get a nice old comic like this. The thing is, you got to take good care of it. And put the folds back and clean it and stuff like that. And make sure you take good care of it. While preserving comics really helps. I'll show you how to kind of bag and board it real quick here. And that's what you do. You find a collection, you take good care of them. And this is what you would call a back and board. And I'm sure probably a lot of you already know about comics and know enough that, there's bags and boards to put them in. Right here, obviously, you just shove the bag in there. Now, you got to go sunny side out, because they're usually like a flat and a sunny side. So I always put the sunny side out, just so the book doesn't stick. and you slip it right in there, you know, very carefully, slip it right in there, boom, you get a little light piece of tape, or you try to get pre-sealed baggies and you put it right there, and boom, there you go, you got yourself a nice looking comic. And look what it does, it makes it pop too, you know, so it's pretty nice. If you grade this real quick, you can tell it's really not in the greatest condition. You can see some wear up at the corners here and some wear here. I mean, you got a little bit of spine stretch, they call them spine nicks. You know, so when you go out to buy comics, I mean, obviously, you kind of like to buy what you love, you know? So, and you buy what you love, and if you're going to buy it, try to buy the best condition of what you got, of what you love. And you're really not buying it to make money. You're buying it because you really love it. And that's what the good thing about comic books is, you could buy them just because you like it. I mean, you like the beautiful covers, you like that it's an old 12 center from the 60s, you like the beautiful artwork. And that's what's so great about comics. Hey, again, I'm going to slip this nice and neat in there like that. You know, then I'm going to take this book, and, you know, you kind of take it and grip it a little bit, but not really grip it. And you got to watch the corners when you go to put these in. You know, I always kind of start at a little angle, you know, like this first, and then I bring it in. So anyways, kind of lay it down, and you get it. Make sure the back page isn't wadded up in there either. Kind of go like that, you drop it in one corner, just kind of let it go down by its own weight. Of course, you get a little bit of tape, and boom. So signing off, this is Rick from Rick's Toys. I'm down here at the Oswego Comic Shop, and I just come to show you all about how cool comics were, and hope to see you back soon, okay? Thanks. Near mint issue, you know, you got a 9.2, but you can tell, though, because it's in really great shape, you know? I mean, it's really clean, square. With square corners makes a big difference. The rounded corners, then you start to lose a lot of its value because it's been read. This book looks very red, like it hasn't been read, because there's no really creases here. It hasn't been beat up, and it's tough to find them like this. I mean, but because that's why it's a near mint issue. Even though this book is really not valuable, it's valuable when it's in really high condition. I mean, I'm looking at maybe